With Valentine's Day right around the corner, here's a top 10 list of rom-com movies from two single and lonely men.
So ladies, if you like what you see, go ahead and leave it in the comments below. Please. What's up, y'all? We're the Cinefanatics. My name is Chris Adams.
And I'm Robert Adams.
And we are here to get all romantic-like and whatnot. I don't know how, but we're going to try.
In a funny way.
Hopefully. I mean, that's been my life so far. We're going to talk about our top 10 favorite rom-com movies here. A lot of great stuff. Now, this is a list comprised of our opinions. Your opinions might look a little bit different. You can let us know what those are in the comments below. We would love, get it? To talk about them with you down there. Also, over on the Patreon, you can hit that Avengers tier and check out a bunch of bonus content. Probably hear some of our thoughts and feelings about what movies didn't quite make this list over there. We should get into it, though.
Yeah. At number 10 is Pretty Woman.
Pretty Woman.
We can't sing that song.
That's
just stop. Just no.
Street?
No. This was a fantastic movie. Like, let me get that right off the bat. Like, all of these are really good movies. That's why they're on a list about this. But Pretty Woman in general, I love the humor of this movie. That would be the calm of the rom-com part of this.
Wait, that's what COM stands for?
Yeah, comedy. Yeah, I know. Go figure. I love the humor in this, given the fact of like what Julia Roberts' profession is in this movie and how she interacts with the people around her. Of course, I'm highly pointing out just the one scene where she goes shopping with Richard Gere's credit card. I love the coming back and getting that revenge. Absolutely classic scene. But also not only with the humor based around like kind of like it's almost like a fish out of water type of situation. Not only that, but you also get the great music of this. I mean, obviously the song "Pretty Woman." Stop. No, obviously that song is in this movie as well. But I also like the theme song of "King of Wishful Thinking" by Go West. I love. King of Wishful We can't sing that song either. You can't sing any songs in a YouTube video. They will shut us down, and we're just starting. By the way, subscribe. Get us up to 2,000.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah. Anyways, that's a lot of what I like about this movie in general.
Yeah, and also you got to keep in mind, like this is basically Julia Roberts' big break. This is what hit her on that map, and the star power that she has now, and also the star power that Richard Gere has as well. He's like one of the kings of the rom-com, I believe. So
at that time,
yeah, especially at that time. This movie is just packed with the right star power. It's packed with the right level of romance that you would expect out of these two. Plus, the story is one of those kind of classic tales, as you mentioned. So it's got to be on the list. It is, by all accounts, a classic rom-com.
Yeah.
Coming in at number 9, Roxanne.
Roxanne.
I'm gonna put on the red light right there. You're gonna have to stop singing it.
You were just eager to say that, weren't you?
Oh, yes, I was. Guys, this is a great classic Steve Martin rom-com. First of all, anything Steve Martin does is pretty much classic. But it's the fact that this is based off of the play Cyrano de Bergerac, which was written like back in France in the 1800s or something. Who knew? And then they modernized it with the romance side of it, too, with the... It's the whole one man in love with a woman, and another man is over here also in love with the same woman, but he's helping that man... with the love. There's just so much like fun, interesting stuff with it. But I love the actual like story of it. You really connect with Steve Martin's character CD. It's like Cyrano de Bergerac, get it? You really connect with him and kind of feel for him in the situation that he's in. And just the thing about it that I really love is it really truly is one man expressing his love for a woman through another man's mouth.
Wait, what?
Move past it.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah, because of a situation, I guess, like that, it's really humorous the way this movie does it. Obviously, you got Steve Martin is playing the Cyrano character, who has the elongated snout. And because of that, that's a major point of humor throughout this entire movie. Even so much as one pivotal scene taking place in a bar where a guy's trying to make fun of him with his nose, and he just goes through, like, clapbacks, basically, of, like, how you would make fun of his nose. It's fantastic. It's a classic scene from this movie. And like we were saying, anything Steve Martin in is just fantastic. And I'm pretty sure he's going to pop up on a lot of our top 10 lists in the very future, whenever a movie of his could possibly be involved in that list. Anyways, moving on. Number 8 on this list is Hitch. Yeah, this was a fantastic Will Smith vehicle at the time it came out. I mean, Will Smith was known primarily for like his comedic roles, his action roles. Getting into a rom-com was kind of like uncharted territory for him for the most part. I really like how he did in this role. I definitely like the whole idea of basically he's playing a date doctor, which, funny, before this movie existed, I didn't know that profession existed. In fact, if you know of any date doctors, let us know down in the comments. We're two single and lonely guys. Anyways, back to Will Smith. He does a fantastic job in this movie. I really like his character, even though there is a thing about this, unfortunately, is going back and looking back in this movie. There's a couple of things in here that doesn't work nowadays. I wouldn't say this movie aged well, but the humor of this movie is good. Like, I really enjoy watching this periodically from time to time, and that would be why this was on my list, because of the repeated viewing value.
Yeah, for sure. It's on my list because, first of all, I'm just absolutely in love with how New York is portrayed in this movie. That gets me every single time. But the big thing about the controversy and stuff aside, we're talking about like the rules he sets up for how guys can approach women and get their date. The issue, though, that I have is that by the end of it, he realizes that his rules are stupid and dumb. So, I mean, that's one of the situations that I really love about the story is, yes, he's somebody who's got a specific way of looking at things, but his story turns around once he meets a special lady in his life, and he starts viewing things from a different way because she breaks him out of that perspective. You got to understand, like, that is, I think, what really highlights what the romance side of this movie. Also, definitely the comedy, but it's what really makes this movie a solid movie for me. At number 7, it's How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. Did we fit all of that title in to the cutaway section? Because that's a long title.
I have no idea.
Guys, this is a great rom-com. Honestly, like, I know a lot of people were giving out those cheesy jokes. It's like, how to lose $10 in a few hours or whatever. Like, no. This is what I would consider one of those quintessential... It is a rom-com through and through. Starring Kate Hudson, Matthew McConaughey. They're basically at odds with each other throughout this movie. Matthew McConaughey's character is trying to get Kate Hudson's character to fall in love with him. She's trying to get him to leave her, ditch her, not fall in love with her. Just trying to be like the worst possible girlfriend ever to him. And inevitably, what happens is just pure chaos, and it's so much fun. I love the two of them. Their chemistry in this movie is fantastic, but just the hijinks of the whole plot is just what really, I think, drives this one home. It's
based on a lot of stereotypes.
Yeah, based on a ton of stereotypes. It's hilarious.
They create their own roadblocks, their own barriers that they have to break through, and the hilarious ways of them having to get through it. But in the end, it still winds up in that very classic rom-com fashion of, these two are meant for each other, and here you go. And, like, again, it sounds like I'm, like, oversimplifying it, but it works so well within the context of this, mainly because of these two actors just being absolute professionals in what they do. So, yeah, this is a fantastic movie. Highly recommend you check it out. At number 6 is Clueless. Now, look, I don't care what your teachers say. I am going to talk about Clueless anyway and be a supermodel.
Whatever.
I absolutely love this movie. This movie is solely on this list at this point because of my love of Clueless. This movie is the quintessential, for me, the quintessential like teen rom-com, the humor, the romance. The funny thing about this is the romance of this movie, it doesn't happen until like later on in the movie. This movie is based off of Jane Austen's novel Emma, which basically talks about the lead character in this movie as Cher being a matchmaker and finding love for everybody but can never find love for herself. It's because of that storyline is what provides like your comedy, but at the end you find out who she's been in love with this entire time, and you know who it was? Ant-Man.
We're all in love with him, honestly.
Absolutely. I mean, who isn't? Who? You can't look into those dreamy eyes and not be in love with Ant-Man.
No,
at all.
I swear, if you're somebody who sits there and tells me that you're not in love with Paul Rudd, I'm just going to go, as if.
There's a lot of like actors in this movie that are really starting off their career. Some of them are starting off their career and then go nowhere. But
others go to Scrubs, like Donald Faison.
Yeah, absolutely. I love this movie. Like, I want to sit here and really deep dive into this movie and really flesh it out. But for the context of a ranking video, I really just can't dive that far into it. Just know I really love this movie.
He is not clueless about Clueless.
So how's our list looking to you so far? Let us know down below in the comments. Come back on Tuesday nights at 9:30 p.m. Central Time. That's when we do our flagship show, The Tagline. It is live. We will interact with you in the chat. We are talking about movie news and all the movie data that's going on in the world. Come back. We will talk about that. We will talk with you. It's a lot of fun. That is Tuesday nights, 9:30 p.m. Central Time. That would be 7:30 Pacific or 10:30 Eastern. I don't know my time zones, but I do know my movies. In fact, let's get on to the next one, okay?
Coming in at number 5 is...
You've got mail. Welcome.
Yes, that's right. It's a movie about what we all loved about the 90s internet, and that's America Online, apparently. Whatever happened to that company?
I don't know. They went out of business because they sent like all of their like CDs and discs like in the mail like every day. Just
It's a lot more of an answer than I expected to that question.
there's a whole lot of people that are not going to get that reference. I'm just saying.
So the great thing about this movie is that you have the classic combo of Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan, who have been in how many like romance rom-com movies together? A bunch. The thing of it is that the plot of this movie, these two are like competing bookstore owners, essentially. One of them is a big box chain store. The other one is the small local neighborhood store. But they kind of hate each other's guts for what the other one represents. Except that they're secretly emailing each other, and they don't know that they're emailing each other, and then they love the personality that they're emailing back and forth. It's just such a great like twist on how do you take somebody, have them from the perspective of not being in love with the other person at all, and they end up falling in love. How does that work? I just love like how this is like juxtaposed with also kind of like you got that retail store set up and how it just completely affects their lives all the way around.
Yeah, this movie's easily a product of its time, in which that this movie came out, I believe, I want to say 97. This movie came out like at the height of already having like AOL internet starting to be a major boom in most people's homes. So for a lot of people, this was how you interacted. Email, instant messenger, that's the beginnings of social interactions on the internet. And I love the fact that you came off of that like, again, like you were saying, they didn't know who each other was, but then there's the part in this movie where it shifts.
I forgot about AIM.
Yeah. There's a part of this movie where it shifts and he finds out who she is, and then he knows about it for a while. And that really does put in some like really good storyline. That's where I feel like we as the audience really just like dig into the story, and we start feeling like we essentially feel for him, because we're watching as all of this is being revealed to him and his feelings, his emotions, how he interacts with her from then on. I love this. In fact, I'm going to watch it again tonight. Number 4 is Crazy Stupid Love.
I absolutely adore this movie. This is such a great like combination of some powerhouse actors in Julianne Moore, Steve Carell, Ryan Gosling, and Emma Stone. And not only that, but you have like the little Kevin Bacon appearance in there too. Like, what's going on in this movie? I'll tell you what's going on in this movie is you have two like storylines happening at the same exact time. You have Cal, who just got the bomb dropped on him as far as his wife saying, I want to get a divorce, like right off the top, leads to some great comedic moments. But as he's lonely and trying to figure out what to do with life, he meets Ryan Gosling, just the pinnacle of all playboys, what have you, with his constant like chasing women. And he goes in to try to help Cal, try to lift his spirits and get him back on his feet. But in the process, he realizes that his life is kind of not fulfilling because he finds somebody that he is really into and is like, you know what, maybe I could actually settle down with somebody, fall in love with somebody. And so you have him trying to convince him to do his thing, and then he's like, yeah, but I still love my wife. And then he's like, okay, but... And then just the way that the two parallel storylines work together is just such a great way to take the plot line of this movie.
Absolutely. And the thing I really like about this movie is this movie has, in my opinion, and I feel like in our opinion, this movie has an epic level twist to it. And I'm not going to reveal the twist, because if you haven't seen this movie, you need to watch this. This is like Sixth Sense, Usual Suspects level of twisting going on in this movie. So it's so good. Once you see that, it really deepens your love for this particular movie, for this story, for all the actors that are involved with it. It's just so good, and I probably watch this one again tonight also.
And I have something for Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone. Coming in at number 3, it's Jerry Maguire.
Shut up. Just shut up. You had me at number 3. You had me at number 3. Yeah, I absolutely love this movie. Like, here's the thing. The best thing to talk about this movie is, how do you get a guy to like a rom-com movie? Easy. You put sports in it. You make it about sports. You make it about one dude's ambition to start his own company, for him to feel the need to be the powerful sports agent that he is. And then you basically cut off his testicles and make him fall in love with the lead actress in this movie. And it's so good. I actually really like this movie. Now, here's the thing. And I'm pretty sure my brother over here is going to reiterate this later. But this movie is full of classic quotes. And I know you're probably thinking of about at least 5 of them right now in your mind as I say this. But if you look past the quotes, there's a story under there, and the story is really good. Yes, it is about Tom Cruise as a sports agent, that he doesn't believe in that corporate mentality. He's trying to do his own thing. He's trying to do right by the people that he's signing, or trying to sign at the very least.
Cuba.
Exactly. He's trying to do right by them. At the same time, he's juggling his personal life, which, I mean, all of us could really connect with that, in the fact that we have like our goals, our ambitions professionally, but you still have your own emotions, like romantically, what you're trying to find. This movie's fantastic, specifically for that part. And ladies, if you want Ladies, if you want your man to really enjoy a good rom-com with you, suggest this one. This is what I would say right off the bat.
And to all of our viewers out there, understanding that despite that this is the apparently one movie that men can be into, we do have a list of 10 rom-coms that we actually are into. Understand that you, our viewers, you complete us. You complete us. Did you really say cut off his testicles?
Number 2 is The Big Sick. This is the movie that's basically lightly based off of Kumail Nanjiani's life, much like 8 Mile was based off of Eminem. This movie, here's the thing. This is going back to like the origin of the Cinefanatics here. This was our number 1 movie. It was the first time we ranked movies for a year back in 2017, which you could probably find buried somewhere deep within the playlist of this channel.
Don't worry about it.
But anyways,
don't even worry about it.
This was our number 1 movie, and it was a number 1 movie for a reason. The way this movie was done was so amazing. Like, of course, you have Kumail Nanjiani is obviously the expert of talking about his life and the whole ordeal that he went through with his now wife. And I love that the interaction that they had with that, the storyline of it. I know we said back then that, like, hey, like, you don't even have to, this isn't even a rom-com for couples. Just watch this movie. Like, if you haven't seen this before, just watch it. It's such a good movie. There's a whole lot of stuff in there going on, from like the comedic to the romance. There's even like political type of statements in this movie that work so well nowadays. It's such a good movie, just like Chef's Kiss. Absolutely recommend it highly.
Yeah, the thing that works the best about this movie is that it is based on his life. Now, we hesitated a little bit in saying that this falls under a rom-com. It does because comedy, stand-up comedy, is such a big part of Kumail Nanjiani's life, at that time specifically, too. That, of course, this movie's going to be riddled with comedy, but at the same time, there's such a heavy, dramatic piece to it based on what goes on with his wife and how in her illness that she falls into, and then the situation of the romance side of him choosing her through all that situation anyway, being there even though they really hadn't gotten to know each other a whole lot by that point. It's just such a wonderful true to life story, true to life romance story, and for that reason, like that mixed with that comedy, it makes it such a sweet tale. It's one that, like we said before, say it again, if you haven't seen it, you need to see it. Such a great movie. And at number 1, it's The Princess Bride. Did you see that one coming? Who knows? Here's the thing. This, for me, is like the peak of all, like, romance comedy. It's literally got everything. It's got action. It's got comedy. It's got romance. It's got freaking Inigo Montoya who's trying to find the guy who killed his dad.
You sound like the Peter Falk's character trying to, like, tell his, like, was it his grandson about why he should read this book to him. That sounds like what you're saying here.
Now look here, it's got action, it's got adventure, it's got...
He didn't have a cigar. That's Columbo.
Look, I mean, you know it's Peter Falk.
Anyways... This is a fantastic movie. This is essentially, it is also based off of an older story as well, but it's retold by this grandfather. It's telling this story to his grandson. The story is great. It's a fairy tale story, but it's not based off of a fairy tale that anyone is generally like already familiar with. Like, you know Snow White, you know Cinderella, you know those fairy tales. You don't know this one, and that this one, everything comes out of left field. Like, I don't know how to describe it. Just this movie, I feel like, is its own category of comedy, essentially. Yeah. Like, it doesn't fit into any other common category of comedy, rom-com at all. It's its own thing.
There's so many quotable lines. There's so many quotable lines to find. There's so many quotable lines to keep in mind.
Stop rhyming. I mean it.
Anybody want a peanut?
I got it.
I get it. No, so that's the thing about this movie. Is this, like you said, this is one of the most endlessly quotable movies. I mean, everything from, my name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die. And then you've got, as you wish. There's just so much there. I mean,
we could sit here all day just quoting this movie. Like, absolutely.
And I'm kind of also hungry for a little MLT, a little mutton, lettuce, and tomato. And you seem a nice man. I hate to kill you. You seem a nice man. I hate to die. But the thing about it is that it ultimately does have that really sweet romance tale to it, where Wesley just going out of his way to win Buttercup's heart, and just how many years and how many travels it takes to get there to do it. It's just, it is, I think this is definitely like one of those that I really do feel like is the peak of a movie that guys are going to be interested in. That's also a romance movie too.
This is like quite possibly on a list of most perfect movies ever done.
We're probably going to do comedies at some point, and this movie will probably come back on that list.
It'll be on that list, the perfect movies. Like this movie will pop up on a lot
Top
of our
10
lists.
for Carrie Elwes.
Yeah.
That's way down the line in the future.
Yeah, we're not doing that right away.
Or maybe ever. Anyway. That's the thing, guys. So did you agree with any of this stuff that we said? Any number of these movies that are on our list? Again, let us know in the comments. We really want to chat about it with you there. Also, you can head over to our Patreon. Sign up on the Patreon. We got all sorts of cool stuff happening there, including the Discord. We're building a community of movie lovers right there on that Discord. You're going to want to hop on there, as well as Cinefanatics MLP. You can find that on Twitter and Instagram. Also, Chris Adams MLP and
Robert Adams MLP.
Who knew? You can find all those on the Twitters, on the Instagrams. That's where you can connect with us and what we're doing. Everything that we're putting out, you'll be the first to know on those places, in those places. Plugs.
Very well said. Also, make sure you like this video. Drop us a like if you liked it. If you didn't like it, I don't know what to do for you. But hit us with a like. Smash it if you would like to. Also, make sure you subscribe to this video. Hit the subscribe button. There's also the bell next to it. Hit that bell so you'll be notified when we do more videos, much like this one. You can subscribe also by hitting the button that's right here above our heads. Over here off to the side are a couple other videos that we have made. And as always...
Oh man, was my collar messed up this entire time?
Ladies, call us.
Dang it.
Later.